War Midgets here. I'm going to talk about two little helicopters. We're going to fly one of them. I recently started getting interested in these little RC helicopters, and I'll tell you what, they're a lot of fun. If you're going to start out, best thing to do is get a coaxial helicopter. That means it's got two blades. All right, they both spin in opposite directions. This one spins this way, and this one spins this way. You get very, very centered movements. Okay, it's very stable. You also want to look to get a 4-channel controller or helicopter. So that means you can go forward, back, right, left, up, down, and then yaw to your rudder. Once you get good with this, you're going to think, oh, I can go out and get a big one. Well, you can't. You might think you can, but you can't. So what you want to do is, you want to pick up one of these units. This is a single rotor, fixed pitch helicopter. Flying this, compared to that, it ain't even the same ballpark. It's a lot faster, a lot more agile, and it'll scare you a little bit sometimes. You'll wreck it more. Once you get good with this, though, then you can start moving up to the bigger boys. But this is perfect for indoor flying, and it'll help you learn the orientation of a faster helicopter. So we're going to pop this in real quick. What you want to do is you want to turn your controller on first, and then you want to plug in the helicopter to the battery and set it down very quickly. What that'll do is that'll help the gyros set, and they'll be good to go. Alright. Now, with a E-Blade helicopter, the stock controllers, you have full rate, which is on a solid red light. You got half rate, which means it's going to be a lot easier to control. This is what you want to learn in. So let's throw this up real quick and just give you an idea of the mechanics of half rate versus full rate. Now, to fly around the room, I got my sticks at full. I'm pushing all the way in, and that's as fast as it's going. That's good for a beginner. Let's do a pirouette. Okay, that's as fast as it goes pirouette. Now, let's take it off half rate and put this thing on full rate. I'll bring it back to us. Now, let's do a pirouette on full rate. A little bit different. Real fast. Alright. Now, let's fly this thing around a little bit on full rate. You want to be real careful and just real sensitive with the controls initially, because you will lose control of this thing very easily and it'll get away from you. You'll fly into a wall or a door or that tree over there, which I've had the pleasure of meeting multiple times. But once you get good at it, this is a very fast helicopter. It'll scare you sometimes, but once you get it, it's one of the most fun little helicopters for indoor flight I've ever flown. Now, a lot of people ask, how long does your battery last? I can get about 6 minutes out of a battery, is what I normally run. I can get, each battery pack's different, so what I do is when I get a new battery pack, I always time it. I charge it all the way up, and then I use a stopwatch, and I time it for how long it'll last. So this particular battery, I marked it, and this will last about 6 minutes and 50 seconds. What I do in all my helicopters is I usually time it so I can run about 6 minutes before I set her down and charge them back up. You don't want to let your batteries go down all the way on a LiPo battery. Number one, it's a good practice just because once you get into the bigger helicopters and your battery dies, you probably will have a broke helicopter from it landing. So it's like you don't want to run out of fuel when you're in the air, same concept. Also, with lithium polymer batteries, you don't want to discharge them too much, because what will happen is they'll lose their ability to take a charge, and you basically ruined your battery. So a lot of people know about that if they've been into RC cars or planes. Same concept for these little guys. They use some pretty good batteries, and the technology's there, so you got to take care of them a little bit. So only run your batteries down to about 80% or so. That way you'll keep your batteries lasting as long as you can possibly last them. But this is a very fast copter. Once you get good with this, most people move up to possibly a collective pitch helicopter, and that's where you really get into the advanced movements of, 3D flying and inverted and all that stuff. But you almost have to learn on one of these first. So it's a good idea to pick one of these up if you want to go any farther with the sport. Another good helicopter, which I don't have yet, but I'm looking at purchasing it, is the 120 SR. The 120 SR is made by Blade, same company, and it's the bigger brother to this. It's basically the same exact unit, except it's bigger. And it can handle outside wind a little bit better, and it's a little faster, and the battery lasts a little bit longer. It's a bigger battery. And that looks like a very fun machine to play with. If I end up picking one up, I'll do another video on the 120 SR. There's a million videos out there on them. You can find out about it. Just go watch. That's what I did. So there's my battery. It died, so I didn't have my timer going. I was actually running it a little before I started shooting this video. So I lasted about 5 minutes of fly time for the video. But this is the Blade MSR. Excellent little machine. And I think you really enjoy it. So go pick one up and take care.